Welcome. In this video, we're going to combine what we've done in the previous two projects. So we added in a bunch of enemies, we added in states. We're going to put all of that together. So we could retype everything, but personally I think it's a lot easier and less prone to errors if we copy paste. So I'm going to copy paste these lines from when we added in all of the enemies. And now we'll move after our countdown timer. We'll paste that in. Now our single enemy, we can get rid of that. I'm just going to comment things out for now. We'll go back and delete and clean it up later. You'll notice we have error messages happening when we've done that. Hopefully that prompts us to make sure we put in the correct stuff. So right now we just added in our enemy timer, active enemies, enemy interval, number of enemies, and score. So active enemies, number of enemies, enemy interval, enemy timer, and score. So let's copy that. So that now we'll just put that down here. And then we already have the players. Now our enemy loop here, we'll go grab that, copy that, which we can, if we want to have the timer stuff here and score, it kind of makes more sense to have it organized right there. So let's put an extra return, space that out. So that's now adding our enemies in to our setup. Okay, so that takes care of our setup there. And now we need to grab what was in the draw. This is now what's our gameplay. So when we move into our game state here, this is where we're going to put stuff in. We can see right now the enemy stuff is having issues. So currently our state goes to true or win. So we're going to need to take the player part here. I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to just move that down because I want the player to display on top of all of the enemies. So this is now all enemy stuff here. So now let's go and grab enemy stuff from here. So we have all of this stuff here. Actually, we can just grab everything because we have our enemy timer, our enemy stuff, player update, and then our score text. So we'll copy all of that. We're going to have to move this because right now I'm displaying my game state there. So if you remember, we are displaying state. I guess not in, oh, that's right, it's in draw that we're doing that. So that's at 50-50. So we'll have to move that somewhere else and move our score down. So I've copied what's in this window over here. That is going to be what I want to put into my game state. So now I'm going to just leave this here because I want to remember that information. So we'll just grab the player here. And that, now we countdown timer, we'll let that still force it to lose. So now we'll paste this in, and it puts that in. So previously, when we intersected an enemy, we told the enemy their hit state became true and our game state went to win. Well, now we don't want to win after we hit one. We want to win after we get all the enemies or a certain number of enemies. So we can copy that. And now we go into our game where our score is going up. Now what we can do is, we have the enemy hit is true, score goes up by 1. And then we can say if score is, we'll do greater than or equal to in case we have a double hit right away instead of a sign equal score. And let's just do a score of 3 to make this go kind of quick. And now turn twice, close arrow, and if, now go up, and we'll just say state equals win. Okay, now we have circle intersect, player plus enemies is true, and the enemy hasn't already been hit. So then that allows us to go. And right now we'll just let us run into it. We'll add in the mouse pressed when we realize we've now made our game a little bit too easy and we need to beef it up a little bit. So let's comment those out. We don't need that stuff anymore. And that takes care of that. So let's, all right, just seeing if there's anything I see offhand that I need there. We probably are going to need to do a few more things. So, under reset, we no longer have a single enemy because we have multiple enemies. So what I need to do is do my simple for loop. So we're doing the for loop where we cycle through all of our enemies here. Like that. So we go for and I equals 0. I is less than my num enemies, I plus plus, and then we move the, no problem, it'd be just as easy to retype it, and we will just go enemies, square bracket, I close square bracket, dot, reset. Again, look into our enemy. The enemy has its reset method. Okay. It's a little grumpy because I forgot a semicolon at the end of that. Okay. Auto format. That looks good. Just save this since we've done a bunch of stuff now. Let's hit play and see what happens. Okay. Game state is start. Play. So we can see score at 1, 2, 3. Hey, I won. Okay, win. Good. Click again. Oh. I won again. Now my score, wait, my time is 5. My score, oh. So we haven't reset the score, so the moment I hit another one, we won. So we need to fix them. And now notice each time, all the enemies, so they're not staging properly. So we have 2 extra variables that we need to work with. Score. Let's set score back equal to 0, and then our enemies will set active enemies equal to 0. Now let's try again. Play. 1, 2. Oh, I took too long because they took too long to come out. Okay. All right. So we either need more time, we need to make them show up faster. So maybe what I will do is I will work my enemy interval away from 2,000. We'll go back down to, say, 1,000. Seems like a better, or maybe even 500. So a half second, so they're a lot faster. 1, 2, 3. Good, I won. And now time reset, score reset. Now we can see 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's working. But notice when we're playing, our score and our game state are there. But now that our game state is working, we really don't need to show that text on screen anymore. So yeah, we can get rid of that. I'll just comment it out for now, but then we will work on cleaning it up here. Play. Oh. So with our score, displaying our score, we need to put some text information in there. So let's see, where is it displaying our score? Right here. We have our color, we have our size, and forgot to put our text align left. Now if I run this again, now we can see score lines up by 1, good, 1, 2, 3, good. Okay, so we have full states, we have as many enemies as we want. That's pretty easy. So if we intersect the enemies and the enemy has not been hit, and that's what exclamation mark, that's the same as saying right here equals, not plus plus, equals false. So if we want something to be, if we want to say something's false, instead of saying double equals false, we can just simply put exclamation mark instead. That's programming shorthand. The third condition that we're testing for will be mouse pressed. And the same way that if we do exclamation mark in front of something to say false, we can just say mouse pressed, which is making the assumption that we're saying true. Just like that. Let's run it again, and now I have to actually press on them, which makes it a little bit harder. But I can still win the game. So this is really the first stage of getting everything working. After you've done this, then what you might want to do is to start playing around with how does your enemy move? How fast does it move? Does it move in a straight line, or is it going to move in an arcing line? Is it going to wiggle? So that we put some variability into what is happening with it. So we can certainly, play with these sorts of things as we progress, because I can just do something like this and say Vy plus equals random, and we can go -3, 3. So remember, with random, I always start with your smaller number. Now when we can see how, so we got some issues with it based on gravity. Probably don't want to do 3 on it. That's certainly too big. So let's even just try 1 and see how that adds in a little bit of wiggle. So now it definitely is making it harder to hit them. Notice if they keep getting the same value, they may go strongly in one direction over another direction. But it's ways that you can customize the game to make it your own. Good luck and have fun coding.